Early in the morning, rising to the street, light me up a cigarette and I strap shoes on my feet. Got to find a reason things went wrong. Got to find a reason why my money's all gone. I got a Dalmatian, I can still get high. I can play the guitar like a motherfucking riot. Hey, what's up? It is Tuesday, August 7th, 4:20 p.m. A few minutes later, actually. This is the 420 report at 4:30. Shut those dogs up! Hey, Daryl, what's up? Bud Morizzi's in the house. Hey, how are you, buddy? Daryl Humphreys checking in, the founder, the creator of Shenanigans Comedy Wild West Show, and this live video blog is dedicated to you, my friend. Without that, I would not have had the experience that I had putting in my 10,000 hours doing probably 5,000 gunfight shows, comedy Wild West shows throughout the years. In my most formative years, my 20s, where I was able to acquire the skills necessary in order to create a turnkey comedy production that I now bring to nightclubs, taverns, and neighborhood bars all over the country. Trisha, what's up? Guys, if you're so inclined, hit me up with a like, hit me up, share, go ahead and share this video, hit the share button down below, leave some questions and comments, and I will try to get to each and every one of them. While the audience builds, let me go over the upcoming show dates. This Friday night, jer-dog back in action. One-man show at the Mount Vernon Eagles Club, Mount Vernon, Missouri. Looking forward to that. And then this Saturday night, I roll up to one of my favorite local bars. When I say local, I mean within a short driving distance of where I live here in central Iowa. I go to Barnum, Iowa for a one-man show at the Junkyard Bar and Grill. Ashton Dillon, shout out to you, whether you're watching live right now or on the replay. Hey, Bud, thanks for the share, buddy. And, of course, a big shout out to my cast and crew from Shenanigans Comedy Wild West Show, where we brought 4 shows every day for the last week at the Mississippi Valley Fair up in Davenport, Iowa. It was a hell of a good time. So I just want to thank all the guys that were responsible for that. Mike Walker, affectionately known as Mad Mike, Justin Hill, and one of my original mentors in comedy and acting, the infamous Ed Landwehr. And of course, shout out to Daryl and Ron Cameron and all the boys from Shenanigans, past, present, and future, that have created this brotherhood throughout the country of very, very unique individuals that know how to throw down some kick-ass comedy 4 times, 5 times every single day in the hot blazing sun, competing with roller coasters, competing with vendors, and most importantly, competing with people who get on loudspeakers in the middle of the show and like to rant and rave with all the announcements that going on at the fair that completely interrupt the whole thing, causing us to call upon all of our improvisational ad-libbing skills in order to overcome those challenges, which we did, if I can say so myself. Hey, Aunt Pat's watching, Martha's in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in to the 420 report, show and tell Tuesday with jer-dog. Back at it, looks like I am every day at 4:20 p.m. or as close as possible. Not always on time, like today. I was just a little bit late, trying to get set up here and grab a good Wi-Fi signal out on my patio where I'm chilling out. Beautiful. What a crazy day that was. Oh my God. First I did all day long doing the Shenanigans Comedy Wild West show out at the Mississippi Valley Fair. Then as soon as that last one wrapped up about 10 till 7, I'd immediately change out of my gunfight, cowboy. All right, there we go. Good Lord. Lost connection out here. Hey, thanks for sticking with me though. All right, I'll go ahead and finish up here. And that pisses me off too. Like, I gotta get a better Wi-Fi signal out here. I better start doing this just from the man cave every damn day. I like to hang out here on my patio, but the Wi-Fi just sucks sometimes. So thanks for sticking around with me. Although most of the audience just went. Lesson number 1 in show business: don't ever freaking get interrupted. You lose your audience right then and there. So hey, hit the share button, please, so that way we can get some more viewers going here and I can get back on a roll. It's Show and Tell Tuesday with jer-dog. And here's what I have to show you. A little souvenir artifact from the Comedy Wild West show that I was doing last week. We shoot blanks and blanks only. A lot of people ask about the guns. Are the guns real? Are those real guns? Are those real guns? Are they real? Are they fake? Come on, man. Like, we're going to go out there 4 times a day, every single day, blasting real guns at each other. Are you freaking kidding me? The guns are essentially real. They've been modified in order to safely house these blank rounds. They shoot blanks and blanks only, and that's so we can use the same bad guys over and over on an 8-hour shift. So that's what it is, man. We shoot these blank rounds. They're totally safe. They're real loud, but they're real fake. That's what it looks like right there. I got a bunch of these spent shells, if you want to take a look at that. And if you have any other questions about that, just hit me up. Go ahead and put it in the comments below, and I'll try to answer all of them. Dale says, good job with the show. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. It's your tutelage and training that helped bring up my skills in order to continue to deliver kick-ass comedy at nightclubs, taverns, and neighborhood bars all across this great country. So shout out to you, dude. This video is dedicated to the one, the only, Daryl Humphreys from Arlington, Texas. Sun's out, guns out. I like that, bud. Good phrase, man. They are just blank rounds, and it's amazing. It's amazing to me that we don't get as many complaints as would be expected, especially in today's gun paranoid culture, where even just a few years ago, a park bench gets tipped over at one of the amusement parks we were performing at, creating a big loud boom sound, and people started twittering out on social media that guns were fired, which they were not. Just a couple of kids were goosing around, tipped over the park bench, and people just wanted to put out the controversy that gunshots were reported, which it was just a park bench making a big loud noise. And then due to that, the place that we were performing made the corporate decision to ban all gunshots, fake or otherwise, from they banned our show. How the hell are we going to do a gunfight show without guns, I ask you? How the hell? So we had like an hour to come up with a completely new script, sans guns, right? In a gunfight show, no guns. And that's what I'm talking about, being able to bring ad-lib improvisational skills in order to adapt and overcome the challenges that are given to you. It's just that politically correct bullshit where the truth was no gunshots were fired. It was a park bench, but screw that. It's all about political correctness. It's all about prioritizing people's feelings over the truth. And it's very dangerous for comedy, man, because it even happens in comedy clubs these days where just one complaint by somebody who was offended by one of your jokes, which I don't even know how jokes could be offensive. I understand how they might be crappy jokes. I understand how they might be distasteful. I can understand how you might not particularly care for the performer and or their point of view. But any time that I've ever really gotten complained on, it's not because of the words I used. It's not because I went out on stage and said the F word, or it's always based on the subject matter. And very rarely even then is about like what you would normally consider to be off color or risque or adult humor, like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's usually because I made fun of Walmart, or I used a certain word that they didn't like, hey, blah, 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 blah. I'm being sexist because I'm doing jokes about strip clubs or whatever. It's frickin' retarded. See, right there, someone will probably complain just because I used that old school word, which I'm not using to describe a person. I'm not using that word to describe individuals. I'm using that word to describe a situation. And how can a situation be offended? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just craziness, man. It's just craziness that the handcuffs get put on us as performers in order to try to satisfy each and every single person out there in a broad audience, which it's impossible to be able to read their minds and know exactly what they're going to like or dislike. You just got to get on stage and let things fly. Throw as much out there as possible, see what sticks, and then run with it. And I'm not saying get up there and just be some crazy, shocking, polarizing guy just for the sake of being shocking, crazy, and polarizing. But what I am saying is, get over yourselves. When you polarize, you monetize. Speak truthfully and honestly from the heart, the good place, good intentions just to make people laugh. How can you go wrong? How can anybody possibly be upset by that? There's a really cool documentary out right now, which I watched a little bit of last night on Netflix, called The Last Laugh. And the way I look at it is he who laughs last probably doesn't get the joke to begin with. But they talk about how it's okay to joke about dark subject matter. It's okay to joke about things that most people might find distasteful or uncomfortable topics. And the reason for that is because those are dark things, but you got to shed light on it. You know what I'm saying? You got to shed light on it, because where light exists, darkness cannot exist. And if you're just going to let the things stay dark, if you're just going to let things stay uncomfortable and untalked about, void of any humor whatsoever, how the fuck are we going to get around to unifying ourselves as a country, as a people, as a society in order to solve some of these problems? Hey, bud, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's all I'm saying, man. It doesn't matter whether you're doing stand-up comedy, whether you're doing family-friendly comedy Wild West shows like at a state fair or a county fair or an amusement park. It really doesn't matter. It's all about having fun. It's all about you getting up on stage and making sure that the people that are in that audience have a great time. But in order to do that, you can't turn it into some vanilla milk toast bullshit thing just so you have broad appeal. If you try to appeal to everybody, you're going to lose most of the people. You're going to lose everybody. You can't make everybody happy at the same time. It's impossible to do. It really is, whether people want to believe that or not. I've been doing this shit for damn near 25 years. And quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, at least a few people aren't offended at my shows. That means I have not pushed the line far enough. All right. So I really do appreciate going out there to the Mississippi Valley Fair this last weekend, doing family-friendly shows, and then being able to change out of my cowboy costume, going straight over to Sheffield, Illinois, Brothers Pub, where I completely switched gears and did adult humor for a bar crowd, for a drinking audience. That's why I like to appeal to the drinking crowds. That's why I like to appeal to the bar goers as opposed to corporate comedy clubs, because typically someone who's a bar goer, usually actually a lot more open-minded than these corporate audiences you find at modern day comedy clubs these days. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just me. I could be wrong. I'm just a jackass that rants and raves into a video phone. I understand that. I'm the type of guy that sits out on his patio arguing with fucking barking dogs. But political correctness will fucking kill comedy, whether you're talking about gunfight show and people are sensitive and paranoid about gunfire, or whether you're talking about doing live stand-up comedy at nightclubs, taverns, and neighborhood bars where people might be sensitive about your subject matter, the words you use, or the things you talk about. In that case, while I'm talking about that, come out and see me this Friday, August 10th, Mount Vernon, Missouri. Any of my Missouri fans, friends, and followers, shout out to all the folks in Ellsbury, Missouri, where I was at a couple weeks ago. We sold out that show as a fundraiser for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Great night. And I just want to give a shout out to Brandon and everybody there that was responsible for making that happen. I knew I was in good hands. Just as soon as I walked in, they're like, "Hey, it's jer-dog, good to have you." And they're all shaking hands and appreciative that I'm there. And I was appreciative of them being there. And they've got a beautiful venue in the Ellsbury Community Center where hopefully they'll be putting on more comedy shows in the future, because that is what is going to unify us. I say it all the time. I'll say it again. There are 3 things we can all do to make the world a better place. Number 1, always have a sense of humor. Number 2, support your local businesses. Number 3, get shit-faced as much as you possibly can. That's it for today's live video blog, The 420 Report. You can catch me live doing stand-up comedy this Friday night, August 10th at the Mount Vernon Eagles Club. You can catch me live this Saturday, August 11th in Barnum, Iowa at the Junkyard Bar and Grill. And I'll be back tomorrow with another live video blog at 4:20 p.m. or as close as possible. Hump Day Happy Hour, where I'll crack open a beer, and I hope to see you here. Until then, dog bless the USA.